come to you out of that because he said something, obviously, that I think resonates with everybody in the room. Your journey to get here. You've been in Vegas now for a minute. How has camp been here in Las Vegas?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I've loved every single minute of it. You know, just lapped up the whole experience. You know, rented a nice house outside of the Strip. Went seen the Strip, done a few bits of shopping, a bit of normality. You know, back in Scotland, you know, it was literally going to the gym and back to the house. You couldn't go anywhere except for maybe go to the shop to get groceries, and that was it. You know, you couldn't do anything. So after a number of weeks or a couple of months in camp, it was starting to get a bit frustrating, you know, a bit boring and a bit stale. So we come out here as early as possible, you know, and it lifted our team spirits. All the team spirits were all, you know, we're all bouncing off each other. We're going out and about, doing things, living normal life, you know. It felt great again. It felt great to be back to normal.
Now, you're a big talker. We all know that. No trash talk really up until maybe this afternoon with the ESPN taping. What is it about your opponent over here that, you know, garners this respect that we haven't really seen from you?
I respect every fighter that jumps in the ring, you know, and you've got to respect José Ramirez as well. He's 26-0. He's a unified champion. He's beat everyone that's in front of him. You don't become unified world champion for no reason. He's a very, very good fighter. I've said this all along. I respect the man. I respect him, highly respect him. You know, he's got my respect from the very off. He's a great fighter. He's a great champion and a great person. But on Saturday night, as soon as that first bell goes, it's all out the window. It's all out the window.
I'm going to come over to you, champ. Underdog in this one. Is that fueling the fire a little bit?
You know, to be quite honest, this is the biggest fight in my career. So I'm always gonna, you know, for this fight, I was very motivated to train like the underdog, even if I was the favorite, you know. But that doesn't matter, you know. The odds makers, people's opinions, they ain't gonna help me. That's not gonna help. They're not gonna help Josh, and I'm just grateful for this opportunity. You know, it's quite an honor. You know, it's an honor for me to be facing a guy like Josh. You know, being a part of this great event, one of the most exciting fights of the year. So I'm just happy, you know.
Up to this fight, you know, through camp, what have you learned about Josh that you didn't know possibly before?
Well, I've always known he's been, you know, he's a great fighter, and he's very prideful with his country, and I respect that. You know, he has a lot of pride in his people and where he comes from, and you know, that's the way a champion should be. You know, I don't expect anything less from Josh, or for any great champion out there.
Bob, I want to come to you real quick. Top Rank has promoted Jose since his pro debut in 2012. What can you say about how he has matured as a fighter and as a person? And here we are, prepping for Saturday night.
Well, as a fighter, you've all seen his accomplishments. But I'm even more impressed with what a man he's become. I mean, in this day and age where so many athletes are really selfish, Jose Ramirez has given to his community. And I remember when this ridiculous environmental bill provided that water from lakes and streams go into the Pacific Ocean because there was something called delta smelts that nobody ever saw that were endangered species. And the poor farmers, not poor farmers, big, they supply all the fruit, all the vegetables, all the nuts that we eat, not only here, but all over the world. And Jose Ramirez was in the forefront with the fight for water so that these farms and the community and these workers who worked in the fields could be productive. And it was a tough, tough fight, and it not only ended well when the drought was over, but it carried over to a policy where a big dam was built in the area so that the water could accumulate during times of drought. He was a hero. And then immigration. His parents came over as undocumented people to work in the fields. He was born in the United States, so he automatically became a citizen. And he worked in the fields. And I don't know if anybody has been out there, but you have to understand how hard it is to work in the fields and pick the vegetables and the fruit. But he did that. And he was able, through boxing, through support of people in that area, to become a member of the U.S. Olympic team, and then go on with this career and to be a world champion. So if people say to me, are you proud of Jose Ramirez? I will say, damn proud, because what he's accomplished has been absolutely tremendous, and it's a great American story.
Thank you.
Josh, you're fighting to become the first Scottish undisputed champion in the four-belt era, the second Scottish undisputed champion following Ken Buchanan. What would it mean to you, to your country, to your hometown?
Yeah, this fight means the world to me. You know, it speaks for itself. You've just said it there. You know, to be the first person in the four-belt era in Scotland and from the UK, it's a massive, massive piece of history. And in a sense, it puts my name in the legacy books and the history books. You know, as one of Scotland's best ever fighters. And you know, it's a real honour and motivation for me to do this. You know, I'm in this game to be the best and fight the best, and leave my name and history in the mark in boxing. You know, so this is why I've trained so hard for this fight. You know, I've been away from home for about 6 months in this fight. You know, I've dedicated my whole life, adult life, to the sport for this moment in time. So I'm so confident leading up to this fight. It's just unbelievable. I know I've done everything right and to the best of my abilities. So I can't wait to get in there. And not only for myself, it's a massive fight. It's a massive fight for Jose as well. He's got the opportunity to become the first American and Mexican to do it as well and create history as well. So it's a massive fight for the two of us, and it's a great fight for boxing. This fight, it's a real pure boxing fight, and it's a great matchup.
At what point in your career did you take notice of Jose and understand that, hey, I'm going to have to go through this guy eventually?
He's been on the radar for quite some time. You know, I've known of him for a while. He's a good fighter. He's been making waves and doing well. So I've known of him for a while. When it started becoming sort of the next sort of opponent was after the Postal fight. You know, because I then become the #1 challenger for the WBC. But then the tournament, the WBSS, came around and decided to go into that. We could have possibly cross paths there, but Jose decided not to go on it, and we could have already decided who is the best.
It's funny you mentioned the Postal fight, because I noted here you had 3 training camps to get to that one. We talked about that the last time we were together. How much different or better or worse has this camp been now that the path was a little bit clearer defined?
Yeah, you know, this was a perfect training camp as compared to the ones last year. You know, it's just a lot of frustration. The way I train really hard. So when I put almost a whole year of training, you know, that's a lot of wear and tear to my body. You know, I only know how to go one pace. You know, I respect the sport of boxing so much that every session I want to make sure I do my best and I be better. So I got after the Postal fight, which was a little underwhelming fight. I mean, there wasn't too much action. You know, I was never hurt. He was never in control. There was very little bit of action. It was a very underwhelming fight. Every time I landed, he was respecting me, and you know, I think my problem in that fight was just my lack of activity. You know, just not throwing that many punches, but or putting the pressure that I usually do. But it was just based on just being, you know, tired mentally and physically. But for this camp, it's been a tremendous camp. You know, I'm very motivated. It's a big fight, and it's God willing, I become the next undisputed world champion. That's going to bring a lot of glory to my family and to, you know, both demographics, the Mexican demographics and the Mexican-American demographics. So it's a beautiful thing, you know, to be able to share that type of glory with so many people. So I'm looking forward to that.
We asked our social media following on Top Rank Boxing to follow us, hit us up on social, and provide a few questions. And we hit at this a little earlier, but at Enrique Rios sent in this question: What would becoming the first ever 4-belt champion of Mexican descent mean to you?
It would be quite an honor and a blessing. You know, it'd be a beautiful thing. You know, to be honest, I'm so focused on the fight that I'm just thinking about today and tomorrow, and then, you know, making weight, and then you know, feeding my body the proper nutrients to feel strong on Saturday and just go out there and perform, you know. But I'm definitely enjoying every single moment of this experience, and this is something I could always speak to my kids about, you know, my kids and my kids' kids, and, you know, it's part of my legacy.
Josh, we had a question come in for you from social, the handle @thebatboxer. His question was, if you win on Saturday, would you consider yourself the pound-for-pound best?
No, I wouldn't think so. But I would say it's got to be in there. It's got to be in the pound-for-pound list, you know. But I wouldn't say the best. I'm not going to disrespect other fighters. But it's got to be up there, certainly, for sure. I think I'm number 9 at the minute. So if I win this on Saturday, yeah, it's got to go up a couple of notches, yeah.
You knew what number you were, so you're paying attention, though. Yeah. Bob, go ahead.
Listen, I'm telling the winner, whoever wins the fight, don't claim to be the best pound-for-pound fighter, because Tyson Fury is coming, and he's going to be in the audience, and don't tangle with Tyson Fury.
Josh, one more from another follower on social, @Jacob to Tartan. He said, what round?
I don't know, but I really am confident of getting the KO on Saturday, that's for sure.
Another comment we had on social media from @StayHumble was simply, this is what boxing is all about.
That's correct.
And I would have to agree, and I think everybody in this room would have to agree. And with that, gentlemen, we're going to conclude this conversation. If you could put your mics on your chairs, hit those X's right there at the front of the stage for your first face-off of the weekend. I don't know about you, but everybody who's watching, this is going to be one for the ages. The undisputed junior welterweight championship of the world. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Make your way down there. Bob, thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, tuning it in, it goes live on ESPN, ESPN Plus, and ESPN Deportes. Our first bell is at 1:45 p.m. exclusively on ESPN Plus. As always, this is Top Rank. This is boxing. We'll see you tomorrow for the weigh-ins.